Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat, as we are here every week. See, that's why I've been saying it like that, because we're always all over the place. And I don't know how you've done it, but it was show 294. Somehow, as much as you piss me off, you always make me laugh right before we come on the air, and I appreciate that. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. As long as you can laugh, we're good, right? It's sort of what I do. I joke about that at work all the time. I wouldn't want me working for me. I'm glad somebody does.
No comment. That could be a whole segment of shows in itself. How does Adam stay employed? Like, man, I don't want to reiterate, but the stupid shit you've been able to get away with at work makes me laugh sometimes. Like, just for example, driving away and pulling the hose out of the gas station pump.
Mm-hmm.
Or running out of gas multiple times. Opening pot cans on the air. Spencer just said that would get you fired from any other broadcasting job.
Nope, forget it. You do it every week. So screw you.
I know.
I'm even drinking your brand.
I like when the mic cues up because Spencer's going to say something, so I always try and be quiet, hear what he's got to say. One day we'll get his microphone fed to the listeners at home too. We are here on Monday. You're maybe watching it. Well, there's no way. Yeah, you are watching this on Tuesday or after. We shot the show on Monday. So here we are on Monday.
So Clint broke the cardinal rule.
Go ahead.
Which really isn't a cardinal rule because we've all violated it. But it's worth it because you bought tickets to a good event for a Tuesday.
What is the cardinal rule?
Don't book shit for Tuesday nights.
Oh,
you're busy.
On. We've always done other things. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I feel bad Dad's not feeling up to going because he's one to introduce me to Billy Strings 10 years ago. We're bluegrassers, and he's a hot young, hot picker coming out of, the States years ago. And he's really blown up to this international superstar that we've all known he was. So I'm fortunate to be able to go down there with Chrissy and Jack tomorrow and check this thing out. So I'm excited to go. We bought Pitt. Can you believe for a bluegrass show they have Pitt tickets? Apparently very tough to get to. So we're going to see how it goes.
He's a different flavor of bluegrass. What's your favorite Billy Strings song?
Well, I mean, when I was jamming with Kenzie and Dad, we would play Dust in a Baggie. But what I like about Billy Strings is he plays everything. I just heard him do what he did on Howard Stern last week today. Super impressed by that. Not really a bluegrass, but super folky tone. I don't know. Do you have a favorite?
Dust in a Bag is the only one I know. So I was hoping you would say something else. So I could, but similarly, Marcus King. I showed you him, I think, when we were up in Peterborough.
Yeah, I've listened to some of his stuff too.
He was live on Jimmy Fallon one night and started out on the piano. He's got a killer voice. But of course, after the first verse, he stands up, goes over to his guitar, and just kills it.
Yeah, that's one thing. We go to a lot of concerts, and I always end up searching Cassette FM as a website you can go to, and it shows you what they're playing. So, like if AC/DC, which they just announced a concert, I'll go look at that tour set list. If there's a lot of songs I like, then I'll go to the concert. Billy String's concert is different almost every single night of the year. He's playing different songs. But him and I tend to grow up on the same flavor of bluegrass. So a lot of the songs he's playing now is stuff from like the 70s that my dad had on albums. So I'm super pumped to go. For me, this may be the best show I've ever been excited
You brought
to see.
it up. You brought it up. AC/DC, third row. What do you pay for tickets?
It's hard to say. I mean, yeah, are you asking me what I would pay, what I think they're going for?
No, what do you think they're going for in Toronto?
$3,800 maybe.
Coworker of mine just bought 4 for $600 each. I thought that was pretty reasonable for one of the
That's
best live
really
shows
good.
in history.
That's obviously before it got to the resale market, so they probably sat on Ticketmaster the day they came out and got them firsthand, because by the time they get to StubHub or whatever, it's going to be insane. Even the tickets I had to pay for Billy were 300 Canadian a piece. They're probably 100 US when they came out, but it sold out so fast that I had to buy resale tickets. So anyway, let's talk racing. That's what we're here for.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, okay.
Insured the tickets for $34. Since they're old, they couldn't make it. That got me thinking, could you do that as a speedway? Could you sell insurance to the tickets you sell pre-tickets to?
That's a whole other discussion. Why would we need to do that?
While we had World of Outlaws in May, it'd be nothing to rain out a whole week in May.
Oh, so you're asking, would we? Well, we just give everybody's money back. I mean, we take the loss on a rainout. If the whole thing gets washed out, everybody gets their money back. Nobody loses.
I remember way back when Ransomville never gave money back. And I think it went 2 years. They kept trying to rebook the show, and it kept getting canceled. I forget how it finally wound up.
Yeah, okay, that's a different situation if you get the night started, as opposed to, hey, it's Monday or Tuesday at noon and it's pouring rain and we're not going to make the show. So you get halfway through a show, then you're kind of trying to figure out how you're going to manage that situation, more than if it just gets washed out. For example, if it got washed out, everybody at the show pass to just refund your credit cards.
Right. Even though we're talking different things, it's not. It's disposable income. And people spend their disposable income coming to the races, and thank goodness that they do. But that's what we're up against. We are up against big concerts, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, which for a lot of people, AC/DC would be. Or Bill, you spend $300 on a Billy Strings ticket, you can't go to the races for a couple of weeks.
No, and back to what I think that insurance is for is if, say, I break my leg and I can't use these tickets, I can get my money back for them because I'm not going to use them. That's the kind of insurance. I don't think it's insurance if the venue doesn't happen or because the event's going to happen.
No, I think it's cancellation insurance. If they cancel the tour.
Yeah, I mean, that's if well, shit,
but yeah, if they do that,
you back anyways. Yeah,
maybe you got
to me, it's
$34.
It's insurance for you. No, I think it's like saying, hey, if I drop dead or I break my leg and I can't limber down to the front row, can I get my money back for the tickets?
Okay.
I don't know. Something we have to talk about. What are we going to talk about tonight? Already 8 minutes in. I'm looking at my clock upside down. Jared Fitzpatrick's coming on to talk about a couple things. We're talking World Finals. Jacob Dykstra's coming on to talk about a few things. We'll talk about Action Sprint Tour talk of next year. Bullying versus sportsmanship. was brought up. Some new sprint car seat options that have come down the pipe. I don't know what else we sent in, but we're here. We're here for an hour, so let's get into it.
We've got somebody coming on, Clinton, and I would like to begin doing this throughout the off season. Canada has produced a lot of talent behind the scenes in racing. And we don't always hear about them, but there's people that I raced go-karts with back in the 90s that have gone on to work for various sports car teams or engineering companies or NASCAR teams. So I want to start digging out some of them, and we're going to start that tonight. We're going to talk to Scott Simmons, who was part of Denny Hamlin's crew. And I just think it's so cool. A mini stock racer from Flamborough Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, there's definite paths if you're hungry enough to go after the opportunities and fight your way into the sport. You can definitely make it happen. You just got to be hungry. So I love those stories too. Shows you can get to the top if you have the determination and the right personality to make it work. So Scott Simmons will be our third guest coming on tonight. Let's talk World Finals Charlotte recap. I sent a message to Matt Williamson today. I said, hey, man, any chance to spare 10 minutes tonight between 8 and 9? He said, hey, buddy, we're still driving home. Won't be home till tomorrow afternoon. I said, okay, no problem. We'll talk next week. Congrats. He said, thank you. So Matt Williamson will join us next week. We tried to get him on, but they're still making their way back from North Carolina. World Finals at Charlotte. Adam, thoughts? I know you had some gripes.
Overall, I thought it was a great show. I think the track crew deserves a lot of credit for turning that track around from what it was the week before. Great car counts in all divisions, good shows. They do a good job putting on a big spectacle. The 4 wide, 3 divisions. I'm still not tired of that. I think that's pretty cool. But there were a few things that I noticed, Clinton, that didn't sit well with me, and you and I talked about it. But let's talk about the positives first.
Okay, well, the positives were obviously they got the track in line after the week prior because it was rough. The other thing they had to do was it rained Friday night into Saturday morning, which gave them a lot of work and pushed Saturday too, so that kind of put them a little bit behind. I agree with you. The racing was really good. Crowd was amazing. And I think it is cool. I'm not sure who said it. I think it was Davenport who said they really appreciate that, whether you're a modified fan, a late model fan, or a sprint car fan, the fact that they can all get together and celebrate the dirt in that weekend is something really cool for all 3 of the divisions, no matter what side of that triangle you live on.
And for how long, let's put our modified hats on, because that's kind of our background. For how long have people been screaming about how tired they are of it being Matt Shepard and Matt Williamson winning everything? Well, here comes Alex Payne to put on a great show, get emotional. Here comes Tim Fuller, who's getting up there in age, but the guy can drive through the field at Charlotte on a place that a lot of people say you can't pass on. I mean, there were some really good stories going on.
Even if you weren't a late model fan, the Saturday night late model race between, I think it was Brandon Shepard and Jonathan Davenport was amazing. Like, slide job back and forth the whole last 5 to 10 laps. It was super good. I mean, the racing was awesome. The way they celebrate all the champions, I thought was well done too. At the end of the night, they bring all the cars out, they stage them. They have custom banners done for all the champions. If you watch it right till the end, it was quite impressive the way they handled all of it. But what do you want to gripe about? So the one thing is, like, they didn't do top 3 interviews.
Yeah, right? Saturday night, the night's going long. They had a rain delay. They had a lightning delay. People are there all week long. If you're going to push a show late, that's one to push late. Jack Lehner has his best finish of the year, finishing 3rd place in the Saturday Night Modified show, but they cut out the interviews like they didn't bring 2nd and 3rd place out in an effort to push the show along. At that point, that's supposed to be their pinnacle of the season. Outside of Super Dirt Week, it is the World Finals. That's not the time to trim out, unless there was rain in the forecast, which I don't know if there was or not, Clint, but I thought that was not cool.
I think at some point, we battle this. I mean, it seems like the last 2.5 years of our show, I feel like we're under, like, hustle mode so many nights. I'm with you a little bit there, Adam. I don't think the rain was imminent in the area. They were a little bit concerned about lightning. But if you're wiping everything to roll right into the next feature, that's acceptable. But the fact that you stopped and gave Matt Williamson his championship speech, they were talking about them singing "Oh Canada." There was all you had 30 seconds of all of that staging of everybody to grab the Jack Lehner interview, to get the third place interview. That kind of stuff is like, get what I'm saying? If they were rushing through to wipe everything off to keep going, which I get, that's different. But you still stop the show. At that point, you've got to find the 30 seconds to give those guys their due. And I mean, the same reason you're talking about Lehner is the reason we have due top three. And I fought this at Merrittville when I worked there, Humberstone, Ohsweken. Look, we can see Dylan Westbrook kick ass every week, and we get Jacob Dykstra's coming here. I could probably tell you what his interview is going to be word for word. You know what I mean? Because I've interviewed these guys so many times. But what we don't hear is the Bailey Hurd, who drove from 21st to 2nd that night. And that's his moment to shine. And, those are the nights you got to get that second interview.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the other thing I took issue with, when we announced the 50-50 pot, we always announce the winner's share. So when we go over the PAs, the 50-50 is up to $2,000. That doesn't mean you're going to get $1,000. That means the winner's going to get $2,000, so the pot is up to $4,000. All weekend long, they pumped up, hey, the 50-50 is up to $146,000. And then they announced the winner. Now, we're splitting hairs. The winner still took home $75,000. But don't bullshit a bullshitter. The 50-50 got up to $75,000, and that's phenomenal. Don't say it's $150,000, then chop 50 of that off. It's just not the way we do it, right?
Yeah, I'll give you that. We always try and be clear on that for sure. Because I can imagine someone's knocking on the door today being like, hey, man, where's the other half of my scratch? I only bought tickets because I thought it was over 100,000. Right?
And those minor things. The other thing I'd like for you and I to talk about, the Tyler Seary incident. And we wish Tyler a speedy recovery. What are your thoughts on how they handled the coverage of that?
I freaking hate it. I hate it. I'm glad you brought it up. And it's one thing that I was at T-Max and we were having a couple of beers and we were talking about it. The fact that they just shut everything down and then you get one locked off-camera shot of the situation. We know it's bad. It was the same situation when Stewart had his issue. And this is something that Jack and I practice from the day he started with us. If it's a bad wreck, we run up. He's not running up guns blazing with the camera. We're hanging back till we know the driver's alert, talking, breathing. After that, if there's no blood gushing everywhere, we're showing it. And we're going to show that replay a couple more times, I think. And the thing that pissed me off is we're sitting there, Adam, being, okay, he's alive. He's breathing. They've said that. Why aren't we moving on? Why aren't we showing them with the cleanup? What is going on? It's got to be a legal thing with those guys. Why they're not showing anything.
Maybe. I was trying to remember the Stuart Friesen night. I thought they did show replays. Or did it not show up till online the next day?
No. Everybody starts showing it up on their phones. So everybody who was watching it is able to go back on their Dirt Vision there a couple seconds, and that's where we see the clips. But no, and I get it. Like, hey, but I think we were talking about it there on Friday. It's family at home, and they just go blank screen and black out for 10 minutes. You're freaking the frick out. Like, what are you doing? Dead. Give us some more info. So, right. I don't know. Are you on the board with that?
Yeah, you know what? Having been in the announcer's chair, when you don't know exactly what's going on or you don't know the severity of a situation, it is hard to keep talking, but you really need to because that's our job. Our job is to, without, you're not running a circus at that point. Maybe you do a recap of the heat races. You go back, do a quick update. Hey, safety personnel is on the scene. Let's talk about what's going on tonight. But there really is. It is part of the show. You have to know what to do. And Dirt Car has the best of the best. Those announcers are very good. That. Ruben, I felt horrible for Ruben for missing the late model feature. Pass for the win.
Took some flack for that.
We've been there. Tough deal. But there was a lot to talk about.
I'm just back to the thing. If he's breathing, alive, alert, and talking, let's start talking about what just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as soon
Obviously,
as
you
the
don't want to
report
show
comes in.
you don't want to show the replay 30 times over because you don't really know how bad it is. And even the Stuart Friesen one, you didn't know. But yeah, they're tending to him. It's going on. Let's start moving on. But just the dead stop of everything is, I think it's more harmful than just
Yeah, it's a
a
little
more
morbid.
information. And we know right away. And if you've been in the booth, Adam, if we aren't getting the report of what's going on, we are screaming at the officials in that tower like, what the F is going on? We have all these people sitting here. We need to say something. We need that info right away. Anyways, let's switch over to our first guest, Jacob Dykstra, who's joined over to talk to us already. Jacob came back to Ushweekend this year, won opening night, went on to win the championship. Jacob, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Just working here in the shop.
Working in the shop, but looks like you're bartending.
Yeah, this is the nicest part of the shop right now. Right now, the shop kind of looks like it blew up from the season. We're just organizing and getting everything ready for the off season.
Right on. Jacob, do us a favor. We're going to talk about you for a minute. We're going to talk about the reason we brought you on, but we're not ignoring you. So Jacob's taking on a big task here tonight, Clinton, because you put out information on the Action Sprint Tour and you put it out in the drivers group chat about how things are going to play out next year. Here's what you'd like things to look like, and you invite people to respond to it. Jacob, and one of the things I really like about Jacob is he's not shy to voice his opinion, even when it's not exactly the same as what you put out there. So Jacob's gonna share his piece, but Clinton, first, do you want to outline what was put forth to the drivers, and then we can get Jacob to talk about his take?
Yeah, Spencer's got a graphic. So obviously we talked about bringing back the Action Sprint Tour, which Jacob is the winningest driver we've had, won the championship multiple times, multiple trips to Bristol. So he's a good one to speak on this. I had some time to think about it too. So show the graphic, Spencer. The Action Sprint Tour we're talking about. Now, obviously, we still have to raise some money. We got to figure this out. But these are the dates. So back when we started the Action Sprint Tour, we were asking these tracks to run crate races. Well, now they're racing their own races. So we're talking about what do we do? Do we string 6 races, maybe 8 together? Do we add Cornwall or Bucks, and how do they get included? And this is basically the race we said. So move on to the next thing, Spencer. You can show off the next part of the slide. Those were the potential dates. This is where we got into a bit. Each track would contribute $500, basically like a sanction fee to help cover the officials that it takes to run the deal. We'd raise $16,000 point fund, $1,000 for the champion, and $15,000 split evenly among the cars that attend all Action Sprint Tour events and have attended at least 6 events at their home track. If a team doesn't attend 6 home track events, they'll only receive 50% of their earned point funds. And I can explain why we're doing all this. But Jacob reached out to you, Adam, and said he didn't feel that it was right that there was only $1,000 bonus and the championship should be. I think I'll let you speak, Jacob, but I think the message should be more of a traditional top-heavy purse for the high performers, and the bottom end should get a lower thing instead of an equal split across the board. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, not so heavy up top that it doesn't really make sense. You kind of have to even it out across the board, but you're racing on a touring series. Like you can't finish second in points and 10th in points and make the same amount of money. It's never been heard of. That's more of a club thing, really. And you're taking away from the Action Sprint Tour. The Action Sprint Tour is a phenomenal tour. I've raced it for many years, and I love the tour. And crate sprint cars is the most growingest sport I think we have right now. And to devalue it, to make it almost like a club kind of thing, it just seems wrong to take away from something that can be amazing. And yeah, I get it. It's only a 6 or 7 race tour, which is still fine. But for guys that put all their everything into it and can consistently finish up front, I think it's wrong for them to make the same as somebody that's going to finish 15th every race.
So
But that's
I'm going to play the other side here, Jacob, with my rebuttal, because if you show up to 6 races and you win all 6 races, you've already made a lot more money than everybody else, because each race pays more. And I'm only doing this. I like your point. Like I say, I see both sides of it. I think it's great conversation. So if you show up, how many races did you win? Did you win all of them the first year?
No, first year, I think I only won 1 or 2, but the second year we won 11 out of the 17 races we had. I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that
So
exact.
dollars and cents, you were good.
Well, it's not even that. Like the money you make on your race, like on your race night, just to win doesn't you don't break even, right? Like I drive 7 hours to Brockville. You're going to destroy 2 tires. Your fuel to get down there, you're already over $1,200, and that's what it is to win. So, and I know Clinton said on the group chat that it's supposed to help with your fuel and hotels and stuff, but that's what you race for on your week-to-week basis. Your week-to-week basis is what you earn on your race night. Your funding at the end of the year is what's supposed to help at the end when you got to refresh a motor, when you got to do all these things. Because when I first started, a refresh was decent. It wasn't that much money. Now it's gone up crazy amount in price that they're $6,000-$7,000 to refresh an engine, and yeah, it's hard to put the numbers when nothing really makes sense there, right? Like we're only racing for I think $1,200 to win. And yeah, you win, you barely break even when you drive 7 hours to go.
Clint?
Perfect. Yeah, my point is exactly that. I mean, that's great if we take all the money up top and we help the top 3 teams, and then next year when we only have 4 teams that actually want to make the tour and make all these races. So we're trying to build this thing back up and get it healthy. If 15 drivers all start, you're getting, an extra $1,000 a person per team. As you said, Adam, you can call it a club, call it whatever you want. And Jacob, you realize, if the 5D didn't want to show up to any of these races because you don't like the point fund, no one's going to care because you won all the money all the last years we've done this. So they'd be happy if you just stayed home and didn't like the situation. So that's kind of where we're at. And the other one who didn't like it was Ryan Huntsinger. He didn't like the deal about the pull up the sheet again, Spencer, where it said you have to run 6 home track races or you only get 50% of your money. So if a team doesn't attend 6 home tracks, they only get 50%. Okay, that's good, Spencer. But this is being put together to help Cornwall and Brockville continue to expand their crate sprint package that jumped on board with us. Jacob, you've been with us on the ride since the beginning. We've seen it when they had 5 cars. They're still working it out. Can-Am's, things are working a little bit better there. There's more tracks looking at this deal. I think it's important to keep it healthy right now, as it was. And back then, when you won all that money, we were taking in big-time Pinties and NASCAR cash. Right now we're going to have to cobble together every penny to make the 16,000 we've done to. So to pay you another $5,000 to win and 500 a 10th, I don't think it helps the thing. And I fully get where you're coming from. Your argument, why you want it to be, you're one of the top competitors. I can understand why you'd want the heavy end. But in order to make this work, in order to get sponsors to come on board, it's going to take a year or 2 to build it up with a new bit of a format. It may be unheard of, but that's all right.
I got a follow-up question. Jacob, I'm curious, because Jacob didn't reply to me. He replied in the group, which I do think takes a good bit of courage to speak up. One, to speak up, not against Clint, but to voice your opinion when it's different than the person who calls the shots. Did you have many people reach out to you privately, Jacob, to talk about your opinions or to support them? Or
No, which I'm okay with.
okay.
I don't really talk to many of the drivers in the pits. I go to the races to go and to do the best that I can. And yeah, nobody really needs to care if I show up or not. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But we go to the racetrack to try and win every night, and so does the next guy. But I'm not really looking at what Clinton said of the higher end races weekly. because that doesn't really matter as much as when you're racing for a points chase. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that the last points race last weekend wasn't entertaining. Like, me and Jesse Costa both spin out with like 10 to go, and we're chasing through the back runners trying to make up as many cars as we can, trying to chase each other down. That's cool. And that's what makes racing so interesting to watch. But if I was just racing for an extra $1,000, if I would put myself in a position to crash, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to make a risky move. I'm not going to put myself on the line and my neck on the line and my guys that are going to stay up 24 hours to build me a new car and all this. You're not going to do that.
I love your
I call
point.
bullshit.
I call bullshit
You're
too.
going for it.
You do it for a trophy.
Here's where I'm at too.
Right? And that's the trouble.
The fans will hear me and Adam on the microphone talking about the battle for the championship. They don't know whether you're making $10 or $10 million. They just know you're the champ, and this is a battle, and this is drama that's going on the track. But I didn't mean it disrespectfully when I said no one cares if you're going to come. That's like saying if Westbrook boycotted Oshweekend on a Friday and said he's not coming back to race 360s, everybody else he's beating every week could be like, hey, this is awesome. So
we saw it.
Dylan. It wasn't a dig on that. Let's talk about Oshweekend. Jacob, you came back last year. You know, the way I've told the story of the final night, which was the Nationals, obviously you're leading, Beckett's in you. It's a chaotic deal. But holy hell, as a promoter, that's the kind of drama that we can't script. You know, I've kind of been addressing it as the two co-villains go head-to-head in a championship, you know, knock them out, fight at the big night. And the only reason I call you co-villains because depending on what side of that fence you're on, the other one's the bad guy. If you're a Dykstra fan, Stratford's the bad guy. If you're a Stratford fan, Dykstra's the bad guy. What do you have to say about that situation, if anything? And if not, we can just move on. But I'm just curious to give you the mic to, you know, obviously in the heat of the battle, I had to cut you guys both off. But what are your thoughts? Anything you want to say moving on, going forward, looking back?
It's racing. We're going to come back next year and race just as hard. And I hope he races just as hard also. We're just going to have fun. I don't see what he did was wrong. I probably wouldn't have put myself in that position. I probably would have went around me or picked a different spot. But hey, in the heat of the moment, I was a little upset. Obviously, that was a brand new car we just built, and it wrecked the frame and everything. So, yeah, I was a little upset at the moment, but that's in past tense. Now we're thinking about the future, and we're going to try and come back and race everybody just as hard as we did all year. So, I have no bad feelings. That's for sure. I could.
Good.
They don't intimidate me or nothing. All the cheering and fans when they hear me go tail, I think it's awesome. I think it's so cool that people want to voice their opinion like that. But yeah, we'll come back next year and do it all again. Don't bother me.
Oh, that's awesome. I love what went on. Not the wrecking. Like I love the rivalry. I love that it's personal. I don't love some of the bullshit that went on behind the scenes. And like to me, there were some things, and I thought the track did a pretty good job of clamping down on some of the nonsense that seemed pretty unnecessary. But everything else about it, I enjoy it. Jacob, I like your willingness to say what's on your mind, even if I don't agree with it. I love the fact that you'll stand up and smile and say whatever the hell you want. So, no,
yeah,
we're lucky to have you.
Yeah, I think we should talk about a blend rule instead of me going tail, because there needs to be a rule made up there somewhere.
We'll have you on. We'll have you on again through this off season, and we'll talk about a blend rule. I'm good with that, Clint.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's no way we can argue you weren't involved. Now, I don't fault your own. You got run over, but you were an involved car. You spun around.
Yeah.
And any rule, and I have to look at it and analyze it over. But I mean, in a quick call, you're going to the back. I mean, it was a shitty deal. You definitely got run over, but racing isn't perfect all the time. You know, we can talk about a blend rule.
I totally agree with you.
You know,
and it happened at the Nationals, at the World Finals a couple of days ago. Same thing. Guy gets run over, spins out. They gave him his spot back. You know what I mean? He kept going.
Did he get his spot back or the blended?
blend rule where he ended up, which
Yeah.
is like 2 spots back or whatever, right?
Yep.
I'd have to look
But-
at it. Where did you blend in there?
I was leading. They all
All
were
right,
behind
so
me.
you spun
Okay.
out. You spun out and kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to look at it again. But yeah, under our rules as they're written, obviously an involved car, leader or not, you got run over, got spun out. It's one of those deals.
Yeah, that's why I think we need to re-look into that rule just so it's more clear, because I think that was another reason why I was so upset in the heat of the moment because of that, right? I obviously I do read the rule book very oftenly and I go through it a lot. So just to be more clear on what that rule is would be awesome.
Nobody could blame
Right
you
on.
for being upset in that moment, like anybody would be. And as we like to do, we want to hear what you have to say while you're upset. So,
Well, I
we
really
set
like how the Outlaws do it. They, even if you spin out or anything, they call a caution right away. But if you keep going, that wherever you end up is where they blend you in. They just do that
the
to make sure
trouble
nobody's
was
going to smoke somebody, right? Like nobody's going to get hit or anything. Which I like that
right, but
idea. I don't like spinning out and someone spinning out and tries to keep their foot into it and ends up driving into somebody. I don't like that idea, right?
that's the trouble. Some people can do a 360, real good job at it, wind up pointing the direction they want to. Other people wind up pointing in a horrible direction, and you wipe out 3 more cars. So
Exactly.
there's pros and cons. But Jacob,
yeah,
I appreciate you coming to chat with us. We'll see where everything lands, but good for you for voicing your opinion. That's why there's forums. That's why these questions get asked.
yeah. Like I appreciate Clayton coming onto the group chat and actually saying something about it and asking what everybody's opinions are on it. Because yeah, there's some racers that do it just to get out on a Friday night or a Saturday night to go have fun racing. And there's some guys like me and Jesse Costa and Brett that put out all their sweat and everything into it to go win a championship. And I think it benefits the guys that really put everything into it. And yeah, just something that needs to be really looked into before you guys make a decision.
All right. Thanks, Jacob. We appreciate you being here.
No problem.
Jacob Dykstra, the defending crate champion from Rush Weekend. I just to close out that, the rule's pretty clear as it sits right now. If you're not an involved car, you can blend in. But he was an involved car at that situation as it was called. I'd have to look at it again. And just like one thing that Glenn taught us many years ago, he wants a driver's track. Drivers have some input. You know, sometimes we got to claw it back because it's not right, but we're always going to try it. Let's bring our next guest, Adam. You bring him in.
Scott Simmons from Cambridge, Ontario, now living down in North Carolina. Scott comes from a family of races. Grandfather was Merv Calling. So, Scott, thanks for joining us, man. Good to see you.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Good to see you, too.
So, Scott is now undercar chief for the 11 of Denny Hamlin. What is your title?
Front end mechanic and tire specialist. So yeah, I'm just underneath our car chief. I take care of all the front end, steering, suspension, brakes, kind of help oversee the interior and the rear end as well. And I take care of all of our tire inventory throughout the year and every weekend at the racetrack.
So, Scott, you're traveling with the team to every event all year long?
Yep. Yeah, we get a handful. Ever since COVID, we've had roster limits. So we've been able to rotate our guys. We each get maybe 3 to 4 races off, get a little bit of a break since the industry only had one, which was Easter this year. And I think we went 28 straight weeks to the end. So it's quite the grind.
Yeah, that's a wild schedule. You're not the kid that you were. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you went down to work on Matt Crafton's team when you first crossed the border.
Yep,
so
that's
you were in Sandusky, Ohio?
Yep, that's right. Yep, I was there for a couple of years. Yep, worked on that team in
and then
2015.
Furniture Row Racing.
Yeah, Furniture Row in 17, 18, and then I've been at JGR since December of 2018. Yeah.
You're,
So.
you're not as young as you once were, Scott. Like the schedule, I would imagine when you first went down and worked for Crafton was wild. Is it still fun, or is it exhausting, or is it both?
No, it's still fun. The next gen cars kind of relieved a lot of the hours now that we're 4 years into the next gen era. The first year we put in a lot of time. Um, like I think I remember looking at my overtime that first year, 2022, and I had like 550 hours of overtime that season. But that's when we had to take parts week to week for every car. Just the supply wasn't there. The industry was having a hard time keeping up, and people were wrecking stuff. So it was constant work, day and night. But we're a lot better now, and we have a pretty good work life balance amidst the grind. So it's not too bad at all. Still enjoyable, and we run well, which makes it even more fun.
Scott, what can you tell us about the path? What you may know or may, try to avoid for someone here from Ontario or Canada that's trying to crack into the business down in the States? Maybe a tip? Is there, what type of legal path do you have to take? Well, what can you tell us about that type of thing?
The For me, I took the approach of talking to Murray Tim, who's from Kitchener, who's worked at Hendrick for almost nearly 30 years now. And he was a great mentor for me when I was eager and young, trying to get into it. But just he recommended getting my mechanics license in Canada, which I ended up getting my red seal in auto service. And then there's also the path of going to get an engineering degree. So honestly, to get a work visa these days, getting an engineering degree is probably the easiest way to help get your work visa. Just because getting into NASCAR is so specialized, as well as the requirements to be able to work here legally. If not, it's definitely doable. Just might be a few extra hurdles and getting the right job. And a company that's willing to work with you to help with all the paperwork, because it's a lot on both sides.
How young were you when you first realized this is the path I want to take?
I'd say probably 11 or 12 years old. Yeah, my parents took us to Michigan for the first time, and we got lucky enough to walk down pit road just to take a picture, and then we kind of act like we belong and just walked down pit road for another hour or so before the race started. And I was in complete awe of it all. And being around racing forever, but getting to experience that, I was like, I need to figure out a way to do this. And being here now and uh, being lucky enough to be on successful teams the whole time has been truly a dream come true, which has been awesome.
So I want to shift to modern day, current news in NASCAR. This whole lawsuit with Denny, have you seen that affect him all on Sundays at all?
No, honestly not. He's the type of guy that when he's around the 11 car sitting in the car, that's all he's focused about. He's so focused and determined that he has blinders on to all of that, and you wouldn't know anything's going on outside of that. Anytime that he's with us, he's dedicated, he's on point. He's probably one of the most professional guys that you'll meet, and doesn't let that stuff affect him while he's trying to earn his paycheck and do his job of driving the 11.
Adam, if
Scott,
I could sneak in with another follow, hold on, Adam. I just want to ask, how has the lawsuit affected the industry from your role? Is there a lot of chatter? Is there uncertainty? Or do you guys, hey, it's not our problem, millionaires fighting in the courts? How does that affect you guys on, the teams?
There's a lot of chatter going on. I mean, everything spreads like wildfire in racing. It's no different here than it is up there. Everything travels fast. But honestly, everything's speculation. There's only two sides that actually know the truth. So anything that you can read online, anything like that, it is what it is until the final decision's made. So we can't take anything for granted, or can't read into it too much. It will affect everybody in some form or fashion, I believe, once everything's said and done. But obviously, we're hoping that it goes in the favor of the teams, and hopefully everybody can benefit that way. But it is what it is right now. There's not much we can really do about it.
So to switch back to championship weekend, Scott, how much difference is there showing up to work and doing your job when you're in the playoffs and make it into the Final Four compared to when you don't make it into the Final Four?
um, it's hard to say. We've being able to win Vegas this year and have those extra couple weeks that we've never had that before. We've always had to focus on the last two, and usually Martinsville to make the Final Four. And then you only have 3 days after that until your car leaves for Phoenix. So it's a grueling 72 hours or so before you get there. But this time we had a couple extra weeks and we put a lot of effort into that one, just going over every fine detail throughout the entire car. And then with the 50 minutes of practice, which is double what we normally get, it was a thrash for 2.5 hours post practice too, to just make sure nothing came undone. Everything was in order, ready to go. But we spent a little bit of extra time on this one, which is really nice. And it showed. Unfortunately, the result we weren't hoping for, but everybody knew we were there. So it was worth it.
Like in that last half an hour of the coverage, you guys lived like the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, leading, running back to the championship. Flat tire comes out as a tire specialist. How frustrating is that for you? And then, to not win the championship, what's your feeling on the system? Should we be changing it? What system would you guys like to be running?
Well, come back with the flat tire. It was very confusing. When it came off the car, it still had air in it. And I sent it back to Goodyear. They had a look at it. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. They think under caution, he was just weaving back and forth to clean his tires up and might have just slipped off the bead on the inside and just started having a slow leak. But thankfully, that was under caution, and the 12 car was behind us, and they confirmed that it was flat. So we knew we were going to come take 4, and we were going to move on from that. But with the way it ended, I mean, I don't know. It's really tough. But a lot of the times now, the fastest car very rarely wins a race in our series. And everybody's so competitive. But it's also so hard to work for 37 weeks before that, and it come down to a green-white checkered to decide the championship. I would like to see probably a 10-race format to go for it. I think that your wins to get in the playoffs or reward winning throughout the season more with more points possibly. I think that would be a good way to get the better cars in the playoffs and then see who the best is after those 10. And we've also heard of like maybe a 3-3-4 format, which wouldn't be bad, but we have to get rid of the single race just for obvious reasons now too, being on this end of the stick.
Sure.
And you were with Truex, though, when he won the championship, correct?
I was on the 77 with Eric Jones that year, but yeah, I was a part of that Furniture Row when that happened. Yeah.
So you've been on the right side of it. You've felt the glory.
Yes. Yeah. It was awesome. We've got to celebrate before, go to Vegas, do the banquet and all that with those guys. It was a lot of fun. And I can tell you, being on the car that I feel like should have won the championship this year, that would have been over the top. But it's just the way it goes. Can't win them all.
Scott, do you get any kind of off season? Or are you guys already rolling into next year?
Yeah, we get a little bit of an off season. Everybody tries to use up all their vacation days that we can't use the rest of the year between now and Christmas. And then, so we're in and out a few days a week. And then December, we'll usually start getting into our off season projects of, just the typical tear down toolbox, pit box, get everything refurbed, ready to go. January, cars will start rolling out. And before we know it, we'll be back at Bowman Gray in Daytona. So not too much, but enough time that everybody's done with the reset, ready to go again.
That's wild, man. I appreciate you. We almost had you on the week of the championship. I totally understand that you couldn't make it on, Scott. I appreciate your willingness to come and chat with you. And hopefully you're going to be the first of a series of interviews that we do, kind of celebrating people who came up through the grassroots, where Clinton and I like to play, and went on to some great things.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thanks, guys. I think it's great. I appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't make it a couple weeks ago, but glad we could make it work tonight. It's awesome. But and Adam, I mean, you've been around, you've known me a long time, and you've helped me out quite a bit too. So thank you, all the people you've introduced me to, and they're supporting us. So it's been great.
It's been a lot of fun. That's right too, Clinton. Way back in the Race 101 days, Scott came down with me for the weekend. I lost him. He went and hung out with the Tim family. But yeah, we go back a little bit. Racing's a tight knit group. It is a small spider web of people.
Yeah, it's a family. I mean, even right now, Cole Quinton, who I think you guys have had on before from the APC series, he's down here. He's living at my house right now, and while he's doing an internship here at JGR. So, I mean, it's so cool. And I've met Cole and his brother Nolan and his parents, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. Never in a million years you'd think you end up here with somebody from home too, right? So it's pretty
paying it forward.
That's
cool.
We got to do our best.
All right, Scott. Well, when you guys win the Daytona 500, we'll be looking for you that week. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Scott Simmons, a tire specialist, front end specialist, as he mentioned, with Denny Hamlin's JGR team, and one of our own made it big down there.
And we have to say, Gary Collings' nephew, because his head will explode if we don't add that in there. It's Gary's sister's son.
Not sure for getting Jared Fitzpatrick. He probably thought it was Tuesday, even though you asked him for tonight.
No, did you not see the message I sent to you? His flight got delayed.
Oh, I didn't see that. I only pay attention to half the stuff you send me anyways.
I understand.
I don't think you did send it because Spencer just asked, are we expecting him still? That's okay. We're running through this. Even poor sportsman or bully, we might have to save that for next week because that's a whole talk too. Let's have a bit of fun though.
Yeah, I don't know how deep we want to go into that, but it's troubling. I think sometimes we pile on a little bit. It's kind of like the retaliator always gets the penalty. Yes. No matter what the sport is. It's if you leave things where they sit, we're so fortunate. Because even at Ashwegan, Jacob Dykstra is probably one of the ones that you would point to that might get some ridicule or some heat on him, and he's more than happy to come on and talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we celebrate our villains as much as we celebrate our heroes, and maybe if everybody did that, or if all tracks did that, it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe, just maybe, if you send someone to pop somebody right in the goddamn mouth if they get too lippy at the racetrack, they wouldn't carry on the way they do, right?
Wow.
Don't put up with it.
That went from sportsmanship to bully to punching someone in the face.
Listen, there's a time and a place where if you cross a line, you're going to get punched. I haven't thrown a punch since I was 10 years old. But if you do certain things at a racetrack, there is somebody connected with me who will go and throttle you. And every team has one. Some teams have a collection of them. Fuck around and find out.
Wow, Adam said the F word. I'm impressed.
Stand up for yourself.
If you make somebody cry, I pay you $50. If I get you to say the F word, do I get $50?
Yeah, put it on my tab.
Sure.
I don't want to diminish. I don't want to diminish anyone's complaint or story or experience, because everyone's experience is their own and it's valid. But sometimes, yeah, you know what? I don't even have an issue with anybody who tells their own story. I think usually the issue is when a story gets retold. It's piling on.
We may have to delve in that a bit more next week. All right. Let's look at some pictures quick. Spencer, the pictures we dropped. How about this? Okay, the Blaney car was back at Charlotte, tested, didn't participate. This thing's just so offset, Adam. how soon till we get guys doing this in the 360 world, trying to make this crazy stuff? I don't even know if that wing would be legal with our stuff. Crazy.
I
Went down,
think
thought they were
there
down,
is.
didn't participate though.
I'd like to see in the rules if there's a rule of the centermost point of the wing must be centered within the frame. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen that. It just talks about cubic footage and dished versus wicker bill, or dished and a wicker bill. All right, what else is next, Spencer? Keep them coming. Next picture. Oh, this is just for sale down the States. Look at this car. It's just gorgeous. I love the lines on it. $5,500, bud. Let's get it.
Oh, nice. Sold.
You know, roller, no engine or transmission, but man. And I bet it doesn't look that pretty. It's probably a year's worth of beating on that body. They took the picture.
Do you think they used a filter?
Selling it in November. No, you always use your preseason picture when you're selling the car at the end of the year. You never use the current picture. All right, what else? We talk about this. You gotta leave a bit left in the tank.
You don't have the balls to run the cush is such a great spot for memes.
Oh, I love it.
I thought I sent you a
All right.
couple this week, but I didn't see them. There was a couple of really good ones.
All that comedy stuff. I never know what to say anymore. Okay, what else you got, Spencer? Oh, this is cool. This is Mark Martin, and I believe it's his son at Schrader's place. I gotta ask Schrader about this. So Schrader, he's got one of these Unical 76 balls from Talladega. What's the plan with that? Jack said we should try and buy them and put them around the corners at Ush Weekend for you and Greg.
Nice.
All right, what else? Oh, this I want to talk about. This is Trouchold's son from down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, down in
New
New York.
Jersey,
I think he's in the
New York.
southern tier.
Moving up to limited sportsman. This got a lot of spark on one of the websites last night, Adam. 10 years old, moving up to a full-size sportsman. Is that too young, or is that okay? 10 years
There's no
old.
right answer. There's no right answer. Like, why not 5?
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Where
tell you
does-
what. At our place, we always drew it at 14. You got to be 14 to race on the big track tradition. Because you have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, you do. I don't know. Am I comfortable with it? No, not really. It adds a lot. Even, when we call the junior late models and things like that, it's fun, but it's different, right? They're treated differently. You talk about them differently. You jump into a sportsman class, I'm not treating you different anymore. You're not that cute little Trouchold kid.
There's always that line, though, like, as a man, if I make a stupid move and I hurt you for the rest of your life and you're another man, or let me back that up before I get in trouble. If I'm an adult and I crash into another adult and harm them seriously in this game that we all take these risks in, I think I can live with that better than harming a 10-year-old. And it doesn't make it any easier, but it's going to make it a lot worse if the kid is in grade 5.
You bring up a good point. A 10-year-old racing among grown-ups, is it unfair to the 10-year-old or is it unfair to the grown-ups?
The 10-year-old. You're throwing that kid out there into an adult sport. Would you put your 10-year-old on the NHL ice? No, because he'd get smoked.
No. So my question would be this. Where is he going to be allowed to race?
Yeah, I don't know, because New Jersey and New York have strict laws, right? In those regards, at some points. I mean, look at Austin Seabird got one over on us this year. Not got one over. The tour came. We were out there talking. I'm like, shit, he's 13. He shouldn't even be out there racing right now. You know? It's just one of those things.
Now,
And
If you want
Austin's
to
doing a
go
great
out,
job.
that's very true. If you want to go out and run laps at 10 years old, fill your boots. Someone's paying, you're going to rent a track, go out there and turn laps, great. As far as the paying audience coming out to see you, so the trouble
It probably
is,
sells tickets. It probably sells tickets. You know what I mean? But I just don't love it. I don't love it. I think you're putting
until
everybody
something
in a
happens.
sticky spot. Yeah, exactly. It's great while the kid's
Oof.
performing until he's not. And they're referencing, they're from the Tanner Von Doren area, right? So we all start talking about TVD, who's racing big blocks at 13 and 14 down there and winning races. You know, I don't know. For me, it's just you got to drive the line somewhere. For us, it's always been 14. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I have no reason. Like, I have no legitimate. I can remember having this talk about 16-year-olds, then 14-year-olds, then 13-year-olds, then trading laps of which
Cody
came along.
Geldart. Yeah, how old was Cody Geldart? And
I don't know.
I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to piss people off. Let's move on. What's the next one? More home ingenuity or home stupidity when it comes to iRacing? Do we need the net for reality, Adam, in your home iRacing rig?
You know what? I kind of dig it.
I don't hate that as much as the fake helmet we saw last week.
The fake helmet was troubling.
All right, moving on. All right, let's look at this. Just pick it up and move it. Glenn Stiers is wild. We had him on here last week. He kept telling us he's going to pick up the pit sign-in booth and move it. Well, this is it moved on tractors, intact, to the other field. So this is the parking lot, camping lot at Ashwegan. They just lifted it up, parked it on trailers, brought it over to the other field. Now they're going to pour a concrete pad that I think aligns with this one and then set it back down. So we'll now be signing in on the right side of the driveway instead of the left side, and we'll be off the driveway when you come in. So they've just picked up that building, gave it a 180, and going to plop it back down in the new field there. Pretty wild. And that's what it looks like. That's the corner now, Adam, of like pit road and the driveway, and there is nothing there anymore.
Yeah, that's different.
And they're picking, and the other two buildings you see in the forefront, they're actually one house together. Those are both being taken out of there as well. So by the time everybody comes back in the pad you see here that's clear, that's where the old pit shack was. Pit shack, pit sign and building, that building. So yeah, it's basically going to line up here, garage overheads to garage overheads with the man cave that we see here. Pretty wild.
Yeah. Hey, whatever makes him happy, it's his home.
Yeah, I thought he was crazy, but he showed me I was crazy. So we'll follow the progress of that.
I'm still feeling awkward over the bad sportsmanship versus bullying. Such a fine line. It's such a serious topic.
That's why it needs a real setup next week. I don't want to dive into it now because it's a 10, 15-minute piece.
Yeah,
And
so
I'll have
folks,
to get a
please
good position on it.
Give us your thoughts. Give us your opinions.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You were so vague. Here's the thought. Here's the thought.
I certainly don't want to throw anybody.
The question to think about for the week is, when does bad sportsmanship become bullying? And we'll talk about that next Tuesday. Is that fair?
And when does advocacy become bullying?
That could be a whole 2-hour program on its own.
If I make a post about my good friend Clinton and people are being mean to Clinton, stop being mean. And I'm talking to you, so-and-so, and you, even if I don't name names, it becomes more of an attack than a defense. I don't know. I'm at a loss, but I feel like we should say something. Be better
to your fellow racers. That's the message. Be better. All right.
And if
Let's
you're going
jump
to be
into
a
scenes.
dick, expect someone to show up
Punch in
and
the
punch
face.
you. What would Rick Spencer Walt do? I'm going to start living my life like that. What would Rick Spencer Walt do?
You'd be a lot better if you did. You got the size. Just start pushing people around a little bit. Quit being such a gentle giant.
I deal with things with my mouth, Clint.
Yeah. So we've heard. New seat setups. Let's jump into this, Spencer. This was, I believe, at the World Finals this weekend. Butler Built brings out a new system. Your belts have normally been attached to the cage of the chassis. This is a new system where the belts are contained to the seat, which is a new development that we haven't seen prior to this. So they've got mounts. This one thing, Adam, I want to talk about quickly here. Stay here, Spencer. So this ratchet on the lower seat belt, is that something we have in pavement, or is this just a sprint car thing, Adam? So all sprint cars they have this mini ratchet in there, and they're ratcheting their lap belt in. I haven't seen that on pavement yet. Is that something pavement guys are doing?
I think you could run it anywhere. You wouldn't be able to see it in pavement. Big Eddie was my crew chief. He was a great big guy. He would lean in the car and just reef on my lap belt.
I know, but this is a better, more precise way where you can ratchet it down yourself as a driver once you're in the car. So I thought it was that came out 5-10 years ago, these mini ratchet systems. But either way,
now Connors came undone this year. I think the night the track was rough, Connors' belts, like he'd hit bumps and they'd loosen right off, he pulled off. Not like World of Outlaws, just stop on the racetrack, they'll even give you your spot back.
Yeah, that's an epidemic we have to address at our place. Either way, check out those new seat systems. I've never seen that before, where they pull right to the seat. I gotta think it's gotta help out in certain ways, more precise. When you have to take the seat out, for example, well, that's not really bolted to the seat. That's over the bars.
That's over a bar. Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, no. I see what's going on. They've got the seat mount over the bar. The belt is on the lower end there, pushing through the seat where the gap light is there.
We should get someone on from Butler Built.
The belt's coming through. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Interesting setup, though. We can definitely talk about that. See if we can get on in the next couple of weeks about that and talk about the advantages of that. The other thing you're looking at there, that yellow stuff, I believe that's that mounting, and this is something they brought in a dirt car too. That's like a bushing, and on a super bad impact to your spine, that will give a little bit. Those yellow bushings will give and help you with a bit of, not a ton of cushioning, but give, let's call it.
Yep.
That clears the board. What else, bud? Anything else you want to talk about?
Happy Remembrance Day. Let's honor our veterans, those who came before us. Hopefully you already did today. Yes. We're in a troubled spot in this world right now, so definitely thank the ones who got us to where we are in the modern world so far anyways. See everybody next week. It's always great chatting with you. And we'll be back next week to talk more racing with some of your favorite drivers. Let us know who you want to get on here, and we'll make it happen. Thanks, Spencer, for everything you do. Thanks, Adam. We'll see you guys next week.